happy based on how we support each other. That is love.
I agree.
The moment you cease that support, that love is gone. Whereas unconditional implies it'll stay there in spite.
Because that you showing that consistency is the love itself. That you being willing to do that is the love.
But then hold up, take it a step further. I agree with that statement, but here's the problem, right? What about and I've seen this in different friends, different people, different strangers, right? Where you've had that love or that sense of a connection from that person,
right? And
at some point it ceases to happen. Now, a lot of the people who might argue or bitch about experiencing this, they might neglect their own accountability within this, right? Because the first question I would ask is, well, they loved you or you felt love and now you don't. So what did you change?
What did you change
within yourself?
Right.
How did that happen? Right. But then in certain scenarios, right? Let's say the person didn't change at all, but the other person did.
Then
that is where that's where you need to leave. But the problem is
time to go.
They're thinking, and I think it was you that said it before, where you believe that it's you that's the problem.
Yeah.
Opposed to understanding that's the first step of the manipulation of the Oneitis to some extent. This person, maybe you're not doing something for them, or maybe you're doing it and you stop requiring. Like, imagine this: like you sell coconuts. I got $5 for every coconut. I give you $5. You give me a coconut. I give you $5. You give me a coconut. One day I give you $5. You don't give me a coconut.
That'd be some bullshit.
But no. But I'm just cool. I'm just thinking, oh, it was just me. Like maybe my money was fake. Like maybe I don't know.
Yo, that analogy is fucking hilarious.
And then it's like I come back, I give you another $5.
I guess they don't take bills.
Another day, I give you another $5. No coconut.
No coconut. Like fuck out of here.
Nah, no problem at that. I'm like, all right, bro.
Fuck up. We
gonna fight now. Like,
coconut. And then one day, I come home. I mean, I come out. I give you $5.
Right.
And then you give me a coconut. And I'm appreciative of that coconut. And then you're looking at me like, damn, I could like not give him a coconut for every $20. Well, fuck, like
I'm about to do that.
No, and the reason I bring this up, we could take that same analogy and put it in a different place.
Yeah.
You paying the bills, you paying for the car note, you paying. She on your insurance, she's driving the car that you bought for her. It's like eating your food and all that. But you come home, the house is dirty. The kids ain't do their homework, and she not trying to fuck.
What?
But essentially what you say your food, and you're like you saying your. Essentially, if it's your wife, is anything yours at that point?
No, see, and I would agree and disagree.
Essentially, then it's everybody's.
Well, see, it's the family's, right? It's the family's food, and as the head of the family, it is yours. It is also of the family, but you have the decision on how it's dispersed. But it belongs to the family.
They ain't about to eat dinner without you.
You're the head of the family. Well, idealistically, they would.
Yeah, idealistically.
Yeah,
I know. Like
I'm hungry, motherfucker. I'm gonna eat. Like yo, you just head.
So the reason I bring that up is because within that same scenario, right? If you come home and all X, Y, and Z on the list isn't done, that's the same as you giving her $5 and she's not giving you a coconut.
Right.
And then when she says, well, I was busy and I was this and I was
that's excuses.
But then you're like, well, let me be understanding, opposed to like, nah, where the fuck is my coconut?
Her saying I was busy with that type shit is like me saying I called her to work because I was tired.
So how about this? How about this? You gonna cook, you gonna clean, you gonna fuck me when I get home. But I'm gonna take a break off from my job because I just need some time off.
And you got to be cool with that.
And you got to be cool. You gonna have to keep giving me coconuts. Don't stop giving me coconut. But I'm just not gonna. I got no bread, so I just need coconuts for free.
That's not.
It's not gonna work.
That's not fun.
But that's really love. Love is a transaction.
That's
like even a connection is. It's like look, coconuts for bread.
Would you say like all right? So would you say like the same way? Women are like, and I mean, I know we always talk about like, yo, don't test men in terms of like, just like, don't test men.
We'll always be tested.
I know we will always be tested, and it's like niggas would be like, don't test men because like that's sabotaging your relationship essentially in certain ways. But we're not gonna get into that. That's a different pod. but you know what I mean? Do you think it's good, or do you think at least men should consider evaluating a woman the same way we get evaluated?
What do you mean by that?
So like, boom.
I'm trying to figure out.
So like, in the same way we get tested, right? And I feel like, and I'm not saying that this will be like.
So we should.
So
like,
let me be specific. I don't think that this would be healthy for the relationship. At least I don't know if it would be healthy for the relationship. I really couldn't tell you. My initial gut feeling is it wouldn't. But in the same sense that like like we talked about the flipping the Me Too shit the other night. In the same movie,
don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just say M2.
The M2.
Yeah,
Mewtwo.
I'm
nigga.
very
Don't
sorry.
say Mewtwo. Now you
So
could.
I'll give you
You can't
another
say
clip
Mew?
so you can.
You can't say Mew?
No, I'm gonna give you the
You
clip.
can't say the. You can't say.
Oh
that.
no, I get that.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay.
I'm gonna give you the.
No, we can say Mewtwo.
Okay, Mewtwo.
Can we say Mewtwo? That's
We can
funny.
say Mewtwo.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the next clip. So in the same way we talked about flipping the Mewtwo
That shit was
movement
great.
Yeah,
the other day,
yeah.
I feel like that soundbite's gonna be amazing.
Bruh.
That's a
That
fucking
shit is
amazing. Save that.
Mewtwo.
The
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo movement.
But continue. I'm listening.
But I feel like we could talk about flipping the way that like women like to test men. We could test women. I mean, if this relationship is supposed to be, I mean, equal, whatever, we could test like,
You
and
got
I
it, Twan.
and you might. So all right, so
I say no.
so I.
Finish.
Hold
I
on,
mean,
let's take this real
okay,
quick and then
that's
finish.
cool. That's cool. I ain't going.
Okay, so continue what you saying.
So I know it's not the same, right?
Yeah.
What you talking
It's,
about?
it's similar. Oh, he says no. I think we do test them in different ways. I want you to finish
Okay.
and then.
I'm talking. Well, I'm just talking about specifically in like I'm very simple. Like, you know what I mean?
Continue. Yeah.
Well, I said like you want like a woman to, you know what I mean? If you want a woman to cook and clean for you,
Yeah.
like, and like this is the most basic example, and that's why I keep using it. And I'm not trying to just like simplify a woman to that. I want to make that very clear. I know women could do much more than cook and clean. Like this is just the most basic example I can come up with right now. I'm kind of lit, so that's what we're gonna stay with. But like you want your girl to cook and clean every day, all right? Or whenever the house is dirty, clean that joint,
Right.
cook every day, whatever. Which really isn't that hard, but
Yeah.
you want like you want that consistency. So it's like when that doesn't happen, it's like that needs to be. You mean like I guess it needs to be brought up. It needs to be brought to the forefront every time. They need to like feel some like I feel like my girl should feel some type of way. I don't want to say that.
No, Josh.
I don't wanna
Look,
say that.
yeah, no, you should say that.
should say that?
Say that, yes.
I feel like my girl should feel some type of way when I come home and like the crib not clean and that shit.
Yes, she should.
And I'm not saying that like, and that's not to say that like.
Would you
know,
feel
you
away?
know, you know me personally. I like to cook, so I might cook.
Let me ask you a quick
sometimes.
question. Quick question.
Excuse me.
Would you feel away if you did not have enough money for that light bill?
Hell yeah. So I need to feel away if she's not cooking.
Yes.
So all right. So bam, I'm gonna stand on what I'm saying. Then fuck it. Y'all just brought it back to perspective.
ahead.
Yeah. If she's not cooking,
reciprocal.
so like saying, so it's just like the same way every day is a test for us. We need to maintain our masculinity. We need to maintain our
your
value. Women need to maintain their value to us.
Yes.
And what they're bringing to the
Yes.
table. Well, that's my
Yes,
point.
100%.
And so it's like if I'm coming in the crib and you not cooking and cleaning 3 times out of the week, that's a problem. Like I might leave you off that. Like that's a
outside,
problem.
and I do want to.
That's how I feel.
And like we say, big cap, no bullshit. I agree with everything you just said, but I want to keep it in perspective though,
Right.
Because we're talking about a guy who can afford to tell his lady, "Yo, you don't have to go to work." It's one thing to be a guy that's working and you got a girl that's working and you
yeah,
expect her
that's facts. No,
to
that's
do all
facts.
these other things. That's a different type of relationship. Whereas if you're a guy that makes enough to provide that opportunity, a full-time job just cleaning the house every day and preparing a meal.
And that's what I'm speaking on. Like
Especially if there's
there we
no
go.
kids. If there's no kids or nothing, then yeah.
because like I know we didn't establish that beforehand, but that's what we've been
the age of the
speaking on.
children's. I agree, but the age of the children also goes into that because
Yeah, right.
when it comes down to like I remember somebody bringing up a story. This was like a hypothetical scenario.
Nah,
for
bro, I
a-
kind of
a
don't
family.
agree with you. Like, what do you mean? Well, all right, so my fault. Finish what you're saying. Like, what do you mean by the age of the children goes into that?
The age of the children goes into that because, like, let's say
Like, if they're younger, it's harder?
Yeah, because like, if you got
I disagree with that.
If you got a 8-year-old, excuse me, 8-year-old. If you have like an 8-month-old, you got a 1.5-year-old, and then a 3-year-old. Well, that's a lot to maintain. You got practically a newborn. You got one that's almost 2.
So now we're talking about multiple kids as opposed to
no,
one.
but let me just finish this statement, right? So that is a different scenario from all your kids are 6 and above. Okay. When you get into that area, or even 5 and above, once the kids start going to school,
and leaving,
then that's different. So, like, speaking on that side, right? The scenario that I heard that I kind of just thought about is like, okay, so you have the guy that wakes up in the morning. Now, ideally, Ideally, let's say, because some jobs, you might got to wake up crazy early, right? But ideally, the woman would probably wake up around the same time as the dad. Dad gets ready, he goes to work. Woman goes, she wakes up the kids. While the dad's in the shower and the kids are getting ready, doing their thing, the dad wakes up a little bit earlier, so the kids go shower, they do their thing. By the time dad is ready to go, breakfast is ready. Dad goes off to work. See you later. Hug, kiss. Kids eat their breakfast. Mom takes the kids to school. Mom comes home, cleans the house. After she cleans the house, does some grocery shopping. Now, the issue comes where people kind of misunderstand how long those tasks actually take, depending on how big your house is. Cleaning the house, cleaning the entire house, 3-hour, 4-hour job. Taking your time in between, depending on what you're doing. Might got to vacuum, mop, dust, do whatever. It doesn't take that long. Grocery shopping, huh?
3 to 4 hours is a long time.
Not really, but when we're talking about like an 8-hour shift at a job, so like relative to that, it's not that long, and we're talking
take your
about
first
in
15
home.
after that.
It's like but like even deeper than that. When you're in your own home, you could be. You could be bullshit watching the show as you vacuum. You could be listening to music. You can be stopping at random points to get food or drink or whatever if you feel like it. You're in your own domain, but you just have to clean. Now, like I said, it does vary on the size of the house. So outside of that, you do that. Grocery shopping, not a long thing. Like people, especially families, I would say, if you're in that particular scenario, I might assume you have a budget. You might understand what you're willing to cook if you're like being that role as a mother. So you go in, you know what you need.
You don't gotta cook no motherfucking gourmet meal, just something to eat.
I mean, look, that would be nice, but it all comes down to the dynamic, right? So whatever you chose her, if she can cook and you enjoy that, or if she can't cook but she still takes on that role, that's up to the individual who puts the ring on the finger.
If I say I like fried chicken and you cook me fried chicken because I said that, then you the one for me.
Right, but Pete, so that's maybe an hour grocery shopping.
If I say I like something, you're gonna cook it for me. That's just honest.
So you go, you do your grocery shopping, you come home, maybe you prepare the meal for the day, and that's assuming you want to cook every day because niggas can eat leftovers. So let's say you cook 4 to 5 times a week.
You can meal prep. That's cool.
You can do that. But even if you don't, like 4 to 5 times a week, okay, cool. School week. On a school week, you cook Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Leftovers on the weekends. Or maybe Sunday, Monday, Sunday dinner.
One day we going out every
whatever.
week or some shit.
Not even that, just on the base level, right?
Well, yeah.
But then so you do your grocery shopping. That's 5 hours on the high side because, like I said, 3 to 4 hours to clean, depending on your house severity. And if you keep up with your routine, it's less and less time to actually go about it because it's less and less dirty.
Used to it. Yeah.
Then
and
then at that point, kids be at school for about 8 hours. Well, what is it? Like let's say
7-8 hours.
8 hours, yeah.
Something like
you gonna
that.
go in like school was starting at least in high school. It was like 7:30.
All right, 7:30 to what?
2:30.
Yeah,
7:30 to 2:30. So what is that? That's 7 hours.
That's
no. That's 7 hours.
Yeah.
So 7:30 to 12:30. That's 5, and so 7 hours. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So you got your first 5 hours. You clean the house, did your grocery shopping. Okay, you got 2 hours left. You start making your meal or prepping your meal for the night. Cool. You got an hour to relax. Go pick up the kids, 2:30. All right, come home. It don't take more than an hour and a half to do homework. If you're actually going about it correctly, your younger kids, the older they get, the more they can do it on their own.
I'm about to say, because like in high school, it definitely take more than an hour to do homework.
I'm saying the older you get, the more
you can do it. Like niggas got Google, they got phones.
Yeah, this day and age, it's a little different.
So my mom was helping me with my math homework and
you get a little older,
junior year,
and then at that point you have more chill time.
Right.
At which point you calculate what time your husband
even more,
what time your husband is going to come through, and then you make sure the meal is done around the time he gets home and done. And in that, all you did was wake up, take care of your family initially, clean, do X, Y, and Z, and you're not cleaning really every day, but you're not cleaning every day.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about on the day you do work. it's not even like work.
And you not actually working. You just clean. Like,
No. Let's not act like that's not work.
Not cleaning.
I mean, no, it's definitely
Not
work.
like that's
I'm not
not
saying
work.
like, all right,
I gotta
so
show that respect there.
I acknowledge like that is actually.
Yeah, you're not
work.
doing it
I'm
every
saying it's
single
not
day.
like an actual job like that. You gotta go do every day. Like the same way I'm waking up going 7 to 8 to 5 every. You know what I mean?
But see, all right, so I do want to get into one of the key things that I brought this all up for, this whole scenario. It's because when we talk about the whole idea of testing, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way I brought up the whole coconuts for money and all these different things, when you're not getting certain things, you need to kind of check. And I think that might be the better word in this particular scenario, where you check your partner, you check them and have them understand, or you establish some type of frame or some type of consequence or requirement for your relationship.
Like, yo, I'm not about to be dealing with you not.
Well, so no, it's kind of like this, right? Maybe your girl, she sees that you might be lacking somewhere, so she says some shit that to specifically make you mad. That's called a shit test. She wants to see your reaction, and how you handle it is how she establishes her value for her value she has of you moving forward. In the same way, we have to be able to do similar things, but it all depends, right? So here's an example of a test, in my opinion, on a woman. Holding sex from a woman, in my opinion, is like a test from her. Like, I think that's one of the only tests that's kind of reciprocated from man and women, where it's like a woman might hold sex back from a man because she wants to be like, oh, is he going to be thirsty? Is he going to really try and come at me? Because the more you come at her, the less she values you, because it's like you have nobody else, so you need her.
I know what you're about to say.
Whereas on the flip side, you hold it back from the woman, it's like, I don't need you. And it's the same test, just flipped, and we take it different ways. But
you
want to
see her be like, "What the fuck do you mean?" Like, you gonna hold?
Well, it's like, nah, it's like you come at her and she says, "Babe, I'm tired," but then you hit her with the same thing. It might come off different. Nah, but no. But then that's where we get into how women communicate versus how men communicate, because we're more direct. They're more emotional. They like to play on different things.
Like, no, I'm actually
so if
tired,
it's a fight, realistically, if she argues you or gets mad, she gets whatever. The test for you is to not let that shit bother you, because when she does that, that's responding to a test with a test. That's another test. When you say, "Oh, it's a fight," no, it's not. It's not a fight. It's only a fight if you lose the test.
Well, yeah, if you respond back to it in a sense with more aggression, I guess. Yeah.
No, not even if you respond to it.
Yeah.
It's like, what you gonna say if she says she's tired?
No, you just
Nothing.
gotta eat that. Yeah, you just gotta eat that. As a man, you just gotta eat that.
So when you say you're tired, she just gotta eat that. I just told you I'm tired.
No. But when you respond to her response, you losing the test. When you say you tired, that's the end.
Oh, to her response. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if
So,
she's
like,
like,
I
yo,
think
you
that's a
want your bean,
reciprocated
and you
test, in my
like,
opinion.
no, that's it. Right? The same way if you're like, yo, you trying your bean, and she like, no, you already know it. Like, that's it. I'm not going to get. So, like, we need to, like, I feel you. It's like, as soon as you respond to, like, what you mean, no? As soon as you respond to that, it's over. Like, you fucked up.
You lost that one, yeah.
So if you're really tired, I mean, and like you said, women are doing that shit to see how we react when we're more direct. So if I'm saying I'm actually tired, he's saying exactly like we're actually tired. Like, I actually don't feel like doing this right now. So I'm literally being honest with you, and you need to understand that, because we're not about to do this every time.
See, that's part of the communication chapter. Like, women don't actually want honesty. No. Another chapter of the book.
I feel that. And that's why I feel like what you're saying is valid. Because, like, I kind of, like, understand that. Like, it's like, I'm not going to, like, what I just said to y'all, I'm not going to say to her, I'm just going to say, no, I'm tired, and not do it. And she'll understand at that point, like, all right, this nigga's really not going to do it. Like, I thought I'd be able to, like, no, he's really not. So I really got to, like, you feel me? Step my shit up and make sure he really want to do that shit. So it's a different, like, I feel where you coming from. I really do. Because
that's where it goes.
That's valid. That's super valid.
And that's where we take it to another step. You know, it's actually kind of funny. This makes me think of another story real quick. Like, quick story, not even on no deep shit, but, like, talking about the single mother syndrome and shit like that. Or, I guess, it's not all the way that, but to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So my uncle, right? I remember my grandmother telling me how when he would get in trouble, he would like she would tell him, "Oh yeah, you're not allowed to go outside and you're not allowed to do whatever," right? But then I was like,
I'm a grown ass man. You can't go outside.
no, this is back in the day.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't alive during this time. I'm talking about when they were children.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like, you not about to tell me as a grown ass man I can't go outside?
I'm
Like
talking
what?
about, when they were, I'm talking like probably like middle school, high school.
Oh,
days
okay.
from my
That's
mom.
funny.
Gotcha, okay.
But I just remember hearing these stories. Like my grandmother would tell me.
Yeah.
And she would be like, yeah. So I would come home. And then he would be able to cook. This Jeremy's dad, so like the cooking shit kind of run through whatever.
Okay.
So it'd be like, yeah, he could cook. So I'll come home and he has some chicken and some corn and some collard greens and some this and some that. Had a whole full cooked meal, and then be like, "Ma, can I go outside?" And then she would still tell him no.
Damn.
But
That's crazy.
I mean, because punishment is punishment, nigga. It's the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, you talking about when you on
punishment? Yeah, punishment is punishment.
You on punishment? You thought you was gonna just cook a meal and get
Sweeten
the
them
fuck
up.
out of it?
Nah, you can't.
But low key, a lot of the time, and like
Respect though, he tried. He tried.
yeah, I'm trying to get out of this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because I ain't never do that. I feel like if I do that, my parents might have let me slide.
Fuck it, that's it. I'm gonna sit here. I ain't gonna try to fix this. Like,
If I cook my parents a meal like that, they might have let me slide a few times.
Yeah.
but at the same
like,
time, he
that's
was
crazy.
able to cook, and he would just do that type of shit. So it was like
I see you know that right in the family.
that right
They was
there.
used to it.
Yeah, it was just like, oh nah, yeah, no, you're not about to. Just nope, don't think this mean you.
Nah, nigga, I done had y'all cooking. Fuck that.
But right, but
I'ma eat it,
when
though.
You keep it in
hey,
mind,
thank,
right?
appreciate it. Like,
When you keep it in mind to that extent, right? I mean, that was all he really knew. But then that came from like, and I feel like this kind of diverges from the topic, but this is kind of like going into using that as a method of approval, where it goes into the influence of like primarily women in your life, and you trying to use that tactic on a woman, but women don't value that the same way.
yeah.
So like that was just a quick touch on like who we was talking about, like how if that person isn't doing the same things, like if your woman was to do that for you, you might get a little like if she cooked your favorite meal and if you had a fight with your girl, but then you came home and then your favorite meal was cooked and she was in a nice ass dress and it was candles and it's just like you gonna get some pussy, you gonna eat your food,
I was
you
like,
gonna cuddle
I can't be mad. I can't be
That's
mad.
it.
Yeah,
Can't
it's
be
like,
mad.
hi.
Like, damn, you knew.
But
Well,
that's what you value.
You knew what you was
Nah,
doing.
That's what you
It
value in
depends.
your relationship.
It depends. It depends on how serious of I'm upset. Because
I
if
mean,
you
of
really
course.
upset, then it's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you done cooked in this motherfucker.
On a general
Give a fuck
level.
what you wearing.
I'm not talking about like, yo, your baby
eat it,
not
though.
yours type shit.
Oh, nah,
I'm not.
But
I'm talking
that's
about,
more
like,
than being just
I'm
angry. That's a
talking
whole
about,
nother
like,
level of shit.
Just some I couldn't even come up with no particular scenario. Just some like lighter bullshit. Not crazy, but
Some
that's
bullshit.
that's how we kind of value certain shit. You know?
Took some extra bread and bought a bag.
And it's like, what the fuck, and then blah blah blah, and then you like, all right, well look, the bag, you already got the bag. Fuck it, like.
It's like I'm not hurt, but I was not trying to spend that money on that.
It's like it don't even matter. And then she reminding
Give me
you,
two
You know what?
weeks.
I don't got to go to the bar this weekend.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm gonna
yeah,
just.
that's all. I'm like, yo, but you gonna cook every
So
day.
fuck
Give
this.
some
I gotta
ass every
compromise
day.
my shit. Like,
But you got to keep that in mind, right? Because
Yeah.
it like the give and take is real.
yeah.
Because it's like
Sometimes
and
you just
that's-
gonna have to eat that and then just keep
Yeah.
it pushing.
But you can't, and I feel like that is an undeniable factor. One night is blinds us. Like your girl, you can't just let your girl slide with different shit.
Oh no, not on everything. Like
See,
certain things. Like
I feel like
alright,
that
cool.
scenario in particular, though, you're talking about a woman that's like fulfilling her duties as a woman.
Exactly,
and,
and using her duties
And
to
she's
fulfill
like,
her bullshit.
all right,
or
I'm gonna
cover
try
her
to
bullshit.
finagle right here, and then you like, what is you doing? And then she come correct.
Everybody bullshit.
You know what I'm
at the
saying? She
job
like,
once in
I
a
know,
while.
like,
Yeah,
if you
yeah, I
bullshit,
give 'em that.
if you bullshit, then it's like I know she didn't like literally come out and own it and be like I bullshitted, but that's we understand that's her way of owning it and saying I bullshitted, but
Here's the best way to put it. So you come home one day, the house is dirty, and like she ain't go grocery shopping, so I gotta eat some bullshit. It's like, yo, what the fuck, babe? But then the next day you come in, the house is clean, the grocery is full. She got.
it's like, look, I wasn't on
So,
point
I feel
yesterday.
like-
Yesterday was
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah,
I say you can't get mad like that. That's like I said, you won't have them like, all right, it's not today.
and that's why when I talk about
that's real.
consistency, it's
Corrected
like,
behavior always means more than an apology.
that's why when I talked about
Yeah.
consistency
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel
For
you.
sure,
I feel
that is a
I felt
big
that.
fact.
Bar.
Let me not even.
Of course, yeah,
That was
Yeah.
that was some real shit. But like that's why I was talking about consistency earlier. It's like, all right, I know every fucking day you're not gonna clean the crib, the whole crib. Every fucking day you're not about to like, you mean like you go establish a routine and the way you do things, and that's gonna be like that's gonna be cool with me the way you do it. So I'm just saying like, whatever routine you establish, like go about that. And if you step outside the frame of that, like have a reason for it, or at least. And I mean, and like in a situation we was just talking about, it wasn't necessarily she had a reason for it, but it was just like she wanted the bag, like, and she made up for the fact that like she kind of stepped outside of her place.
She didn't make up. Well, no. Oh no. I thought you was talking about the Miami vacation.
No.
In the scenario we just brought up, the whole
she kind of like made like I'm not gonna say she's like. That's. I'm not saying as a woman that's how you should handle the situation
at all, but
because some men will not respond well to that.
Right.
So I do not say to go about it that way, but you know what I mean. She know who her husband is. She know like if I buy this bag, he might be a little mad, but I'm gonna just make sure he's straight.
You got to be able to control that because that's a slippery.
That is a slippery slope. I agree. I do.
I could get away with
like
it.
it's like the amount of bullshit that. You have to be able to determine your relationship, the amount of bullshit you can
handle, right?
Yeah.
And what is like what you say a slippery slope.
Yeah,
if
you got it.
It's like when you start spending bread just because you feel like you can spend bread. It's like
that's a problem.
You have to be like
once in a blue moon. You
like
I mean, you mean
you got that.
It's
cool.
Like,
yeah, some shit you'll be able to just you know what?
Yeah,
fuck
that's
it.
like a weekly shit or like
you have to make sure it never happens again.
Yeah.
Some shit you have to make sure it never happens
Real
again.
shit.
Like a little bag ain't nothing too crazy, but if she buys some like bullshit, like a real expensive necklace,
a Birkin or some shit.
But
Yeah, like go on like $5,000, $10,000 vape.
Bro,
Shopping
they got $50,000 bags.
You said what?
$50,000 bags.
You say $50,000?
$50,000.
Do you realize there are some houses that do not cost $50,000?
There's some houses that do not cost $20,000.
Shit is crazy.
$50,000.
Do you realize you can get an apartment for like $200-$300 a month if you live with niggas?
I mean, if you live with like 5 to 6 niggas.
Yeah, depending on what city you in.
I'm talking about here. $300 a month?
Nah.
You can live with like 3 people.
Nah. Like even in Delaware, the
I feel like
apartments I'm seeing is like $1,200 a month.
No, bro.
Shit.
Not for no.
Like the
How many
But
bedrooms?
when you divide that
like
between
2 or 3.
Nah, bro, you're not about to.
2 or 3.
A 3-bedroom for you don't understand how good you got it.
Nah,
New
That's
York
what I'm
different,
saying.
right?
Motherfucker, I done
It
seen a
is nice
studio
out
for
here.
$1,800, motherfucker. You ain't.
God
You
damn.
telling me I get a 3-bedroom for $1,200? Nigga.
Ooh.
Give me. I take it.
He said a
Fuck
studio.
that. A studio, bro. $1,800.
Oh,
$1,800.
New York, yeah.
New York, bro. That shit is real.
Downtown, uptown.
Uptown.
Nigga, that's the smallest apartment,
That's
bro.
uptown everywhere. Bro, the
That's
city,
not even a
bro, I don't think you understand how much the city has changed.
I mean,
Damn,
look, my family
baby.
is old,
Shit.
New York,
city-
get
That's
your
why we've been there for
shit together.
years.
Chill.
That shit don't change.
Bro, the apartment
That's
that
out of
my
pocket.
family
Bro.
still owns in the city has been owned by my family since '95.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, same
So-
my shit. My apartment, I think,
it's that
since
old shit.
the 80s or 70s.
Oh, yeah. That's
I
what's
feel
So they
bad
motherfuckers been in there
That's
for a
what's
minute,
up.
so nothing's
That's
gonna
what's up.
change like
That
that.
new
But
shit.
for the new motherfucker that's moving in,
But all
Good
right,
luck to you,
so
motherfuckers.
let's get back to the. Okay, I
Like,
definitely
shit.
That's some wild. So it's like obviously you spending that much bread on a bag of some shit. If that's fucked up.
that's wrong. That's
But-
wrong.
But if you stay within range, if it's not that crazy of a thing, that's why I thought it was better to say like the not cooking cleaning opposed to the cooking and cleaning as a response. And what you said, the change behavior is better than an apology.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Also,
Yeah.
but
I
it's always
totally-
understanding.
totally.
Like you could never let the idea of having that one true person, like for example, right now, I'm at a place in my life where I want to focus on bettering myself.
Right.
I want to make more money. I want to get healthier. I want to explore, build
Love to
my
hear it.
network.
Love to hear
I
it.
want to be able to become a more widely worldly person. I want to experience different things, have different knowledge, skills, things that I can talk about, things that I can get creative about. That is one of my key goals right now. And at some point in my life, I want to have children. Now, I'm not motivated to necessarily be married, even though that would be dope. I would like to get married in a more traditional sense, not so the new sense with all these different laws and shit that will fuck up the male in that scenario. But my grandparents, they've been together since the 60s, never got married. So I'm cool with just having a super long-term relationship.
Marriage, though, some shit like that?
I mean, state to state, the laws
Yeah.
change as far as how long it takes and what rules apply to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would like to have a long-term partner at some point in my life. But where I'm at now is that I'm not focused on that.
Right.
That is not a driving goal.
Right.
And if I do find that person that I say, yo, I want them to be my girl, it's not under the illusion that this is the only person who can do that and make me feel that way. I will never say, yo, I love her, she's the one for me, because as much as I might love you in the sense that we speak,
ain't no
it's
one.
always conditional.
Yeah, ain't no
and
one.
that's the one thing. And that might pop a lot of people's bubbles. Or if I were to say this to the girl straight up, she might feel a way about it.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm not
yeah.
going to bite my tongue on that. I'm going to keep it a buck and say, like, look, I fucks with you. I might even say, yo, I love you. But understand that this love is based on these different things in the same way the love that you have for me is based on different things. As long as I don't fuck up, I'm not going, you ain't got nothing to worry about. As long as you don't fuck up, I got nothing to worry about. We're good. Now, once one of us start fucking up, we can't act like this shit is just gonna, we just supposed to deal with bullshit. You can't act like, oh yeah, times change and we get older and, you know, it's like, look, niggas can fuck for a very long time. Women lose their desire at a certain point in time. That doesn't mean you can't have a dope relationship into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. That's not the point. It's to understand that you have certain duties. You can't get mad at a nigga looking to fulfill his needs in the same way I can't be mad at you trying to fulfill your needs. If we're together, it's because we've agreed to fulfill each other's needs. The moment you cease to fulfill my needs, there are consequences, and vice versa. It's not one-sided. The moment I cease to fulfill your needs, there are consequences. It will never be unconditional, and never will I move or take one foot forward in the direction of believing it is unconditional.
If love is unconditional, why the divorce rate so damn high?
I feel like Oneitis.
That's my question.
Like, one of the things that Oneitis blinds you from is like why you pick a partner or why you stay with somebody.
Right.
Really?
At the end of the day,
Man,
hold up. At the end of the day, that person is there in your life because they fulfill a role.
Right.
Period.
Right. On some real shit, though.
But
right.
for man and woman, they fulfill a role. Mm-hmm. That's what they're there for, because they do some shit to help and enhance you, and you do the same.
Exactly.
And it's like, once you forget that, once you start buying into the unconditional love, the Oneitis, it does not matter what their role is.
Yeah.
But that's what
the
makes
presence
that
becomes enough. Continue.
Yes,
Sorry.
the presence becomes enough. But it's like
It's not enough.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
enough.
and it's
Right.
like my
Yeah.
example of love. When you have somebody who fulfills a role and they fulfill it for you, and you fulfill it for them,
Exactly.
like true romantic love, so
That-
to speak, kinda could be naturally fostered. That's why sometimes a lot of arranged marriages work, and they go.
Because that love is developed and they remember.
Yes,
it.
because they
Interesting.
fulfill
Duty.
the role for each other, and
Have
they
you-
appreciate
Hold up.
that
Take
fact.
this.
I got something to say. All right.
Was that Kaido?
All right, so I'm backing up.
Got him.
Damn, the anime reference is popping today. I ain't even- But so have you guys? No, I'm not even gonna ask. Have you seen it? Because I don't feel like you probably seen it.
What?
But there was this like, it's a video on YouTube. It's called "Happily Ever After," and it's basically it's a acapella video of this dude singing different Disney songs.
Yeah.
And he remixes them like for different like Disney princesses, and he remixes them to talk about what happens after the movie ends. So like there was a lot of different shit, but I remember one of the princesses got like motherfucking a disease, like one of the princesses got divorced, one of the like it was like on some real shit though. It's like, yeah, you see happily ever after, but it's not really happily ever after all the time. That was his point.
You
And I mean,
looking
it was
at the
a
wedding day.
It was a parody video, and it was all jokes, but I feel like it just really ties into what we're talking about right now. In terms of like, yeah, you could find Cinderella, but Cinderella might still not be the one for you. That right there. You can find Cinderella, but Cinderella might still not be the one for you.
Okay. The
You
shoe
might
fit,
find your,
but
the shoe might fit, and she still might not work out. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Ooh,
people
that-
don't
yeah.
know. People don't understand that. It's like she's got to play her role. Same way you got to play yours. Mm-hmm. And if she's not willing to do that, like, why is Cinderella an ideal wife? Because she cooked, because she cleaned, because she handled responsibilities around the household.
Right.
Like, on some real shit. You see the way her stepsisters treated her. That's actually, as bullshit as she got treated, that makes her a great wife.
I wouldn't word it that way.
That makes her that gives her all right, so that gives her qualities of a good wife.
Nah, I wouldn't even say that. I would say the role that she was forced to take on prepared her to be a good wife.
That.
But I wouldn't say her specifically being treated badly is what made her a good wife.
Oh no, not that. That's not.
That's
I feel that. I'm saying that like the shit that her sisters like. I'm saying that like them making her learn those take on those responsibilities, and
she became her stepmom's wife.
On some real shit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Abused wife.
You're right. So, but that
original story.
I'm saying those. I mean, I ain't gonna say skills like it's hard to clean, but those skills.
No, those are skills.
Those are
to be able to do it, not complain, and do it well.
So those skills she developed, facts. So those skills she developed made her, I feel like, a better candidate for the prince overall.
That's a fact.
And what's crazy about Cinderella is the prince didn't know she even had all that to offer when she was like, "Yeah, I fuck with you."
He just saw qualities already.
Yeah, he just saw like.
Nah, he just saw a bad.
He just
bitch.
saw
that was
a bad joint. He just seen a bad joint. He didn't know who it was.
Bad joint on her best
day.
She
average joint on her best day.
Hey.
And I respected you, the prince. You're like, nah, who the fuck was that? You got 50 shoes. Like, who the fuck was that? So, like, I ain't gonna shit on Cinderella, but I'm just saying, like, I kind of like. I understand. Like, I really do understand. Like, honestly, I don't got nothing else to say, bro. Like, when it comes to this topic, like, I really don't feel like I have anything else to say, because I feel like we really are in agreement on how we feeling, and also like what we expect from like our partners and like and our relationships, and also like what our goals are right now, because like that's not what I'm looking for personally, because I know I still have to raise my value as a man. And like, and I think everybody, every man in this room can acknowledge that they's trying to raise their value as well. So
sure.
That's what we focus on.
See, I got the perfect.
I'm
like,
pretty high. I'm trying to go high.
We see, like, Peep. So, and I brought up this book before,
Nothing
right?
can stop me,
but
all the way up.
Y'all remember when I brought up the book called The Namesake?
Mm-hmm.
The names.
You remember, Justin?
I don't recall.
Swan, you remember?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Refresh me on that.
I forget his Cal Penn from Harold and Kumar. From Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
So he was in this movie, right? And it's called The Namesake. So it's about a family that came from Bengal, India, and it starts off with the first generation, right? And this is actually like touching on to the real love and it goes into hypergamy to an extent. So it starts off where you see the main character, his character name is Nick, or Gogol is his real name, but he tries to go by Nick.
Okay.
So Nick's parents are meeting each other, or their families, their grandparents are meeting each other, and they're trying to establish an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
So Nick's dad, he lives in America now. He's a doctor, or he's going to school to become a doctor. He goes back to India so he can find a wife. The wife's parents meets Nick's father's parents, whatever. They set up the marriage. They get together, and then they come back. As soon as they get married, she comes back to America with him. Everything is all cool, right? Now you see them go through the awkwardness of an arranged marriage, but then you see as they progress and getting to know each other and then fulfilling their roles to one another, they build a bond and they grow to the point of intimacy. And once they get to that point, they have their kid, and then they have another kid. And then they're married for a long time and they have a good relationship, and then it jumps forward, right? So you have Cal Penn's character, Nick. He is older. He's second generation American, or technically first generation born in America. And he's the split between his previous culture, his like homeland culture, and the American culture.
I know.
So he's dealing with that kind of clash, right? So he doesn't necessarily go into the arranged marriage idea. He's American, find your person, all this materialistic things. Yeah. But then you see the parents' relationship, and they're not like overly gushy, but it's a love that it was built on duty. You know what I mean? She understood that this is my role as a wife. I didn't know him beforehand. He was picked by my parents. Yeah. And vice versa. This is my role as a husband. I didn't know my wife beforehand. This was my parents. They picked what was best for me. Yeah. we have been together for 20 plus years and have 2 children, and I'm successful in my career. We have a home and we have a family. They're successful.
That's amazing. I ain't gonna lie.
That is, but
That is honestly,
That is amazing for you to be stuck like that and make it work.
It's fire, but it wasn't even stuck because it was more of an understanding.
Well, yeah, that's not stuck.
It's
Yeah.
more.
I feel like
they
you
actually
can grow
showed it.
even if you don't
But-
necessarily like automatically
Yeah.
like love that person or like are all the way attracted. Like you can grow that. Though.
Yeah, I think a person like you can
Depending on how to
grow to
do it.
love
But
somebody.
it was never really romantic in a sense.
I feel
They had sexual intimacy and they had real love.
Right.
But it was never really romantic in the way that we use the term.
Yeah.
But then you jump forward and then you see Nick. He's graduated high school. He got himself a white girl.
With the white girl.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say that.
This is how it
Here was
goes.
the issue, though. Here was the issue, and this goes into like a different kind of clash.
That's when the stories start flipping.
It does because at this point he's not talking to his parents anymore. He's trying to fall back from them. He want to be around his girlfriend and her parents, and he looks at them and they're successful and they're doing all this and that, and he not really bringing his girl around. Or when his girl does come around the parents, he like trying to tell her to do shit different because of their culture and all these different things. It's to the point where he don't even want to be around his parents. He rejects it. Now, that being said, the girl he's with, supportive. She holds him down. She is affectionate and proud of him. Could have been a great wife for him in the sense of American love.
Right.
She could have supported him on a hypergamic level. She would have been the pick for him. Now, he goes through different things throughout the story. He's rejected his family and was getting super close with his girl's family. His father passes away. At which point he goes through this whole reflection. Or no, he goes back to India first and he reconnects with his culture. He looks at the architecture. He starts to get more pride for his shit. And then his father passes away. At that point, he had this sense of guilt. Where he didn't want to stay with this girl just because she was
like a good
white, she was American. He broke up with her because he felt like he had rejected his father,
Right. Yeah,
and his father died. So he was like, "Yo, I want to go the right route. I want to support my family and do this." So he broke up a good relationship with a loyal girl
Deep.
over that, right?
That's so deep.
So then after that, he ends up like working with his mom. He has an arranged marriage done, but found out. Because when he was a kid, they had tried to set up an arranged marriage when he was still a child. It was with another Indian family that lived in like France or something. So now as adults, they hit up that same girl. Come to find out, she had an arranged marriage that didn't pan through. So like even though he waited super long, nobody else would really take her, but he knew her. It was cool. He felt they clicked. Whatever. They get together. It was you could say like they had sex right away and like they had some type of heat and you could tell it was cool, right? So they get married.
Oh, all right. Well, the shit. That's better than probably.
But then later
some
he
of the
finds
other
out that she had a lover the whole time. And
But
that's why
she finds out that.
no, he finds out she had a lover, and that's why the first arranged marriage didn't pan through.
God.
And she pretty much said that she had been dealing with him since she was younger, and she will keep dealing with him. And that's why the first one didn't work out, because she's doing an arranged marriage for her family, not for her own person. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna marry you for our community, but
So that makes him. That probably made him reflect on himself, though.
it made him reflect on.
Wow, that was that.
And then
I'm
the
sorry,
end of
that's
the
actually
movie,
phenomenal.
towards the end of the movie, he's alone.
Now I want to watch it.
But now he's reflecting. He appreciates different aspects of
Now I
his
wanna watch
culture, and he's grown with
That's how you want to watch this, dog. Like, I
now,
mean,
now I want to watch
where
it.
it's like he's questioning what is love. Like, my parents didn't even know each other, and they had a marriage that lasted 30 plus years until my dad died.
that was successful.
I had this one girl, and I thought this culture was wrong, and it would have worked. And I followed my culture, and I got cheated. And it's just that, where do we go from here? And I think that is a great example of understanding how love is a duty. When we focus on sexual compatibility, when we focus on feelings and emotions opposed to duty, because the one couple that lasted was the arranged marriage that understood their roles and fulfilled it. The one couple, even with the white girl initially, she was fulfilling her role as a woman. She was supportive. She was there. She wanted to help him. She would do whatever she wanted to get cool with the family. She wanted. Now that's where the cultural difference is, because he only rejected her for her being white. And then when he followed his culture, trying to fulfill his duty, he got betrayed because that woman wasn't focused on duty. She was focusing on her emotions and society's influence.
Right.
So, like, looking at it, like the idea of understanding the one, that girl could have been the first girl could have been his one.
And you fucked that up.
He fucked it up because he got caught up in culture. He got to the point where he thought about his family.
Yep.
And his family, they were together, so he's thinking, maybe this is the one for me. And it's never the one. It's duty. It's all conditional. And that's where you get messed up. You forget about your duty. His parents never said, you're the one for me. They just said, you're my husband, you're my wife, I have a duty to you.
And they fulfilled that role.
And they fulfilled that role and had
years.
2 kids and a successful family. Whereas you get caught up on emotions and not your role. You think it's unconditional. You're my wife now, so you wouldn't do that. No. How does she perceive her role? Fresh out of Bengal, she knew what it was. You took her out. You took her to the States. She understands.
Yeah, this is you here.
And when your mom is cooking and cleaning and like chefing up that curry, you already know what it is.
Yeah,
you know what it is. And she's modest. She covers up. She respects and says, this body is just for you. It's all about the roles that we fulfill. And when we get caught up in Oneitis, we lose. So like that's where I just felt like that story was good to bring up because that was a great movie and it dealt with like some other shit like but still like that was
a great movie.
I need to watch this.
I would love to watch that. Actually.
Literally, this is one of those movies like like when you about to go to sleep and it's like 10, 11, 12, whatever
channel,
and then like it's like 10 minutes in and you just like, what is oh shit, I recognize him. Yeah. Next thing you know,
don't be the best movies though.
It's an hour and a half later.
I didn't know he was in there. Like shit.
Bro, I mean, like, I know we're not even about to like keep going on this like real quick. Yeah. Hold up, real quick. All right, okay, I'm probably gonna edit this part out. I just need to give it a pause real quick for the editing. Literally, there was a movie I saw about some Nazi shit. This shit was fire, right? Because like, nah, bro, this shit was fire. So, and this is same scenario. So it starts off with these 2 like they children. They live in some vineyard in Germany or some shit. Yeah. And then like one of the girls, like the girl that came through, she was the cousin of somebody, but her parents got killed. They grow up. They Jews in Germany. They own like some recipe to some type of wine or some beer, some type of shit where they got money. Later on, their recipe gets stolen, but they still got bread, notoriety, whatever. Then one of the dudes becomes a fencer. So he going through the Olympics around the same time Hitler started to take over. So they in some early shit. So the Jews is getting snatched up, but they got like special privileges because, Olympic shit. But then they get to the point where they're like, fuck that. All the Jews is gone. But they heard the rumors and all that shit. They knew what it was. And you see them get locked up, go to the concentration camp. Jesus. One of the niggas get killed. I don't know if it was Auschwitz or whatever. It was literally in the middle of the winter, snow everywhere. This nigga get hung from a tree and the nigga start spraying the holes on this nigga. And then it turned back. This nigga frozen to death. Wow. It was on some serious shit. And then like they come to America and I'm not sure if like they found a recipe or some shit later. But like it's just them it's them like about to go to sleep movies that be crazy.
You be like, yo, why? I see why this is on at this time of the night, bro. Because you can't play this shit the regular day. They
about to go to sleep movies, bro.
I do want to say before we keep going, I mean
we about to end it.
Oh, but I gotta pee.
Nah, you good. Nah, I just that last like Nazi movie was just because like the namesake is where we ended at.
Say that
it ties into everything.
Good now.
But all right. But yeah, honestly, I feel like this was a good pod. This was a dope discussion. I feel like we agreed on things more so. I tend to like when we have disagreements and we can go back and forth. But I ain't gonna lie, the last one with Sebastian kind of annoyed me. The last one with Sebastian kind of annoyed me because I just had to keep saying I disagree. And it's just like, all right. But it is what it is. But this was dope. This was dope. Any closing thoughts before we end it? Twan?
Nah, I just feel like that with the namesake, right?
Yeah.
It goes into that duty. Mm-hmm. I feel like it makes me think of like love as like the highest form of appreciation to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. It's like they fulfill their role to you and make your life better, and you appreciate that so much. Mm-hmm. You're willing to do whatever you can
to do the same thing back.
Right. To do the same thing back.
Right.
To them.
Well, obviously, yeah. I'm with that.
It's holding yourself to that standard.
I'm with that.
With Josh? Oh, my bad. You have...
Nah. I feel like back when we was talking about tests, I feel like men don't test, they evaluate. And I'm going to give that.
I feel like, it's the same thing. A test is an evaluation, though.
I feel like it is.
I kind of get what he's saying. I think I get what you're saying.
But when I'm talking about like how it's given, I feel like men.
Okay.
The medium of how it's
Yes, it's like women will purposely poke your weaknesses to test you.
Yeah.
But a man will sit back and evaluate.
He observes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Evaluate a woman. Can she do this? Can she do that?
I agree.
Because I feel like men evaluate everybody. It's like, yo, are you the fastest? Who's this? Who's that? I feel like we're better at that. We since young
we
evaluate each other. Yes, we evaluate each other's levels to determine where our level is.
I
feel like that's what we need to do. We need to evaluate, and I say it like that because the only way to evaluate or to truly evaluate a woman is to understand what you want in a woman herself. To know what to evaluate.
Boy, yo, trying to spin some. I fuck with
That's it.
I fuck with
he's a spin.
No, I'm saying he's spitting. Like he's just like that's bars.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it there.
Okay, I'm with you. I ain't even gonna comment on it.
I super fuck.
So what's your thoughts? Your closing thoughts?
And bars to the niggas.
I mean, honestly, like my ending thoughts is just like learn how to love yourself. Learn how to love yourself first, and understand what you want from somebody else before you end up going into a relationship. And understand
what's wanted from you.
Yeah, understand what's wanted from you, and understand that person that you are with is not the only person that can satisfy the needs that you want. It's not. There's billions of people on this planet.
See, I'm with you, but I want to double down real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I think it's more so about at all times understand what you provide, opposed to what you want from somebody else. Because you know what,
and I feel that.
But it's more so like you have to understand your options at all points. So understand what you provide and how many other people are looking for what you provide, opposed to what you get and how many other people can give it to you.
Right. I'm with that.
Because like
I can be done off that.
Yeah.
Because I can be done off that. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Word. So Justin, what's your closing thoughts?
Just like I was saying, know your value to what you bring to the situation, and if that other person, like, you should know what you bring to them, and they should know what they bring to you.
Right.
And if y'all can make that shit work together and understand that, yo, you do this, I do this, this is gonna work out.
It's gonna be cool.
But the moment that you pull back or I stop, before we just start arguing, like, check me on it, and if it's not working out, then you gotta distance yourself from that person.
Right.
Don't try to just be like, well, all right, I'm gonna try.
Don't let one-itis paralyze you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
don't
get caught up thinking that this is the only person.
Yeah, I gotta keep figuring stuff. If it's not working, I gotta figure it out. No, I'm trying to figure the thing for
amalgamation.
Yeah, like you gotta really be a team about that shit. Like you can't just do it on your own.
This is both of us.
Yeah, like we are in this together to the like you said, to the end.
That's why I fuck with y'all niggas. Y'all niggas.
We gonna make this. We gonna understand this. We gotta figure this out. So I think that's really it. Just if y'all both understand and can come to this agreement with each other, then cool. Understand that if you fuck up, I'm gonna check you on it. If I fuck up, please check me on it. Don't just sit there in resentment or just.
Right.
But we gotta.
Right.
What is it? What is the? So a knife sharpens a knife or something like that.
Steel sharpens
steel. Yeah, steel sharpens steel.
They said to me in football practice all the time.
Yeah, but that's a real shit though. Steel sharpens steel.
It's facts.
Like
steel sharpens steel.
Am I my words slurred like a motherfucker right now? You know.
You already know what it is.
You know what the fuck I'm saying.
Steel sharpens steel.
That's a tongue twister.
But you know what the fuck I said.
Steel sharpens steel.
We used to have this is a side note, but we used to have a period in football practice, like 10, 15 minutes, called steel versus steel. And we would have the as much of the starting offense as we could, because there were dudes that played both sides. So like you can kind of like the next guy in would kind of fill in certain parts. But it would be the best offense versus the best defense we could put together, and we would go
see who win.
And usually it was the starting, like if you started on defense and offense, you was playing defense because defense is more fun. But we just said that, and it was like steel really does start sharpen steel. You can't get better unless you're going against the best.
That's real.
And you're not going to get better in a relationship unless you know what I mean, your partner is the best for you.
And you're not going to choose the best if you choosing one person. You got to compare them to others.
Come on, bro. Yeah,
Spend
come
your-
on, bro.
That was a. I was thinking that exact shit.
Spin your place. You
Come
can't,
on.
you can't pick the best if you're choosing one person.
Right.
So,
Let
man.
them know, bro.
If you only had one meal, you got to figure out what the other meals taste like.
How you going to
Like-
know if you like ribs if all you had was burgers?
Yeah. How could you
your
truly
Yeah, you
understand
don't.
what
Your
you
place, yo.
want out of the woman you want to spend your life with when you've only been with
That is the only
one
burger I'm gonna eat.
woman?
Like,
You have no experience. You don't know the capacities and the levels to shit.
And that's what it is. But we're going to end it right there because I feel like that this was a good talk. For
real.
You know what I mean?
For real.
We don't went through a lot. Like,
For real.
At the end of the day, I want people who learn about the concept of Oneitis to understand it's not to say that you cannot have romantic love. It's to always be under the understanding that it's conditional at all points. What you get is based off of what you give. And you have to decide how much are you willing to give to get the things you desire. In the same way I brought up the coconuts for $5. If all you trying to pay is $4, you got to find somebody giving coconuts for $4. And you got to
Yeah, fuck you
understand
talking about?
and appreciate it. You might find a coconut
Give
for
my
$4 and
damn
it's a smaller
$5.
coconut. If you want a certain size coconut, you got to figure out who's selling it for $4.
I need
It's
my
just-
$5
You
every
need to
time.
experience life.
You
You
ain't get
need
no
to
coconuts
understand
longer
certain
than $5.
things. And you got to grow. And that's really all it is. So I hope most people can snap out of their Oneitis, understand, especially men, because at the end of the day, we have more time to figure things out than women do, whereas women trying to go within their natural role, most of the time they want to be nurturers, they want to be mothers. Not all women, but a majority of women would like to have a family at some point.
Right.
They have less time to figure it out, whereas we can focus on our purpose and start families in our 40s and 50s. So it really is just a sad part of it.
yeah, our factories don't shut down. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
Facts.
it might slow down and don't go out of business.
yeah.
And that is what it is. So it's like, you know how they say sometimes you got to crack a few eggs? Women can't. They need all the eggs. Literally.
You're right. You're right. But damn, you're right.
And no more.
That's it.
No,
So
literally.
This has been another one for you. It's the Big Cap.
No bullshit.
No
Just
bullshit.
conversations about passions, philosophies, and perspective.
Love it.
Like, comment, subscribe. You know, we on Instagram, BigCap_MBS.
Love y'all.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
I'm on Instagram, Gravity the Beast MC. Shout shit out real quick.
Astro Projects, Astro Museum.
You already know,
It's the boy YK, Young King. You already know. More coming soon. I'll let y'all know.
right?
Just subscribe to the page.
Facts.
Be in the comments.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, yes,
We
sir.
there for it. We there for it. So we're going to be back with another one. Deuces.
Peace.